First sort of neggy video, really. I've had a bit of a shit week this week, and by a bit of a shit week, I mean proper shit. So I didn't really know where to start with this or what to do. But the topic of the video is, when I get to, after I've moaned about myself, is going to be why it's important to be open about mental health and speaking about it on social media and how that's beneficial and stuff like that. So yeah, I had a bad week. Had a few things that I thought were going to plan, not going to plan. I was really anxious about a few things. Like the nature of my job, producing films, like quite often you get a lot of people dropping out or a lot of people changing plans, and it causes you a lot more anxiety. And then the shoot I had at the weekend, which involved me being on the back of a bike at one point, and we were filming loads of scooters. I'll just throw some pictures there so you know the relevance of what I'm talking about. It was fucking scary, man, because there's a lot of people there and they're all, counting on you to do a good job, and, being the experienced as I am and stuff like that. It's like one of those things people expect a certain standard from you, which of course we're always going to deliver, but you're still nervous because you think something might go right. I don't know. Anyway, the point is I was really anxious all week last week about this job on Sunday. None of the stuff I was worried about happened, but, this is the problem, is that quite often I will, a friend called it fortune teller syndrome. I don't know whether that's actually a thing, but basically I see things that are never going to happen and worry about them before they've happened, and then I get anxious about kind of things that don't really exist. And I think many of you will be guilty of the same thing, and it's something we've all got to try and get hold of, because if you are fearing something that will you're wasting energy being scared or anxious about something that might never happen. And quite often, even when it does happen, it's never as bad as you envisage it. So just be careful with that. I mean, we're all anxious about certain things. We've got enough stuff to be anxious about that's actually happening. So that's my sort of summary of this week, is that I've spent a lot of the time being worried about things that might never happen. And it's a dangerous place to kind of put your mind. So just be careful with that. And yeah, that's kind of my summary for the week. I'm not going to go into too much more detail. I will maybe elaborate as the weeks go on, but yeah, tough sort of week. But anyway, the main topic of this video is why you should open up to people, and even potentially on social media. Now, for me, all of this now is obviously me opening up on social media, which of course I'm going to be an advocate for that. But in the past, I've not been as open. I've found it hard to be open about things. And in December, I got to a point where I tried to speak to my doctor, and they told me it was going to be ages to get an appointment, this, that, and the other. And I kind of was, really worried. And I just put a thing out on social media because I didn't know where else to turn. I didn't know what else to do. And, I got a lot of people reaching out to me who also had mental health issues, and we became kind of mental health brothers and sisters. And I've kept in contact with a lot of them. I still have people checking up on me. I still, it's just one of those things. Like I guess it's one of the positives to come out of opening up, is actually you do acquire a whole new group of friends, real friends, actually proper friends, because you've all got something in common that you can relate to, that other people that don't necessarily have those feelings can't necessarily relate to as well. It doesn't mean they don't care, it doesn't mean they're not supportive, but an understanding of going through this really does help to help each other. And that's why I find that I do help a lot of people, because I can see things from their perspective. So just bear in mind that holding everything in, as hard as it is to open up, holding everything in is not going to help. And actually that suppression, isn't good. If you're getting counseling and you're seeing people, then that might be what works for you. And you might not want people to know about your mental health. And that's also fine. Like, if you're not keen on being public about it, there's no problem with that. Like, it took me years to actually be open about the fact I have depression and anxiety and mental health issues, So, but equally, don't be afraid of it. It's, the whole point of this is it needs to not be a taboo. I mean, yes, even when I do open up to friends and they kind of clam up and they're a bit like, oh, I don't know what to say now, the more you speak to them about it, the better they get at that, and the easier it gets. And yeah, initially, the first time you tell someone that you've got mental health problems and they have no idea, they're going to be shocked. So, give them the benefit of the doubt of that. Allow those people to have a little bit of a moment of, oh shit, because, at the end of the day, it is shocking when someone you love tells you that they're going through trouble or they're having problems. So just give people the benefit of the doubt of that. And yeah, this is a bit of a shorter video this week, but my key element is be open about it to someone or to some people. In an ideal world, speak to a good 3 or 4 people, because everybody's got a different opinion, and also different people have experienced different things, and life experience is a key element to being able to give advice and help each other out. So just be there for each other, whether you're a sufferer, whether you're not a sufferer. Sometimes, as I say, and I've said this before in previous videos, just being present, just being in the same room, just chatting to them about football or Love Island, whatever it is that takes your fancy. Sometimes having a conversation to shift the frequency or to shift the focus from something that's stressing you out or something that's making you anxious is priceless, because an hour, 2 hours, you know, even just half an hour not thinking about your problems gives your mind a rest. And your mind needs a rest, because if it doesn't rest, when you do start having to try and come up with solutions to fix these problems, your brain just can't cope. It just can't formulate any kind of structure or any sort of program to kind of fix the mind. And I'm not saying that that's necessarily the right terminology, fix, but it's kind of, I don't have the tools myself to necessarily converse these things. So yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one. But next week's video is either going to come early or a little bit late, because I've got a shoot on the Wednesday, and then I'm going to the doctors on June the 13th to speak to them about my mental health. So it's probably best that I try and shoot something on the Thursday or Friday next week and get it out to you that day, so you know, I can keep you updated with what the doctor has said. I'm averse to wanting to take tablets, but to be honest, right now, with how hard things are, you know, I am open to the idea of having some sort of medication, as much as I've tried to avoid it my whole life. Yeah, I'll be honest, I think it might be time to just give anything a try, which, you know, even a week ago I was against that. But, you know, I've had some really, really low points, and it's been a bit different because I've not necessarily been... So at the mind group I've been going to, this video's ended up being longer anyway, the mind group I've been going to, I was told that anger mostly comes from anxiety, because we have fight, flight, or freeze. And when you're frightened, you will do one of those three things. And quite often I will just walk away or leave, which is flying. But if I don't, then I fight, which is the anger. And that's the whole point, is that anger is normally based on anxiety, and it's that defensiveness, and there's a primal instinct there to just defend. And yeah, I need some techniques. I need to manage that. I need some ways of being able to manage my anger and my anxiety and everything, because right now, I don't think this is the point I was trying to make, but this is where I've gone with it. Yeah, right now it's not great. It's not great, and I'm not managing. Oh, I've remembered. Yeah, this hasn't necessarily been a depressed week, but very anxious, and as a byproduct, quite angry about things. You know, like my phone is getting old. I don't know where it is. It's on charge because it's getting old, and it's only 1:30 and the battery's already dead. But the point is that actually, you know, I click, let's say, Instagram or whatever, and then it takes like 30 seconds to come up. Or maps, when I need a map and I'm trying to get somewhere, and I click on maps and I'm like, I need to set off. It's really frustrating, and for some reason it gets me uncontrollably angry, because I'm angry about other stuff in my life, and therefore I'm channeling it towards little things like that, and that's the point. So there needs to be, I need some techniques or something, and hopefully if the doctor can't help me, then hopefully I can get some signposting towards some sort of counselling. I don't know. But anyway, I'll keep you posted. It's been lovely chatting. That's the face of, I'm struggling, but I'm doing this because this is also my way of actually, my sort of therapy in a way, like opening up helps me. Talking helps me, you know, even if it's just talking to myself and then re-editing it and listening to myself and hearing what my problems are, it helps me. And I don't know why, and I'm not saying it will help you, but it does help me. Opening up, talking about it is key. Anyway, it's just as long as the usual videos. I've been Marcus J. Richardson. Until next time, talk to people, be safe, don't be alone. This has been my brain to dickhead, and hopefully it'll be less of a dickhead over the next week. Peace out, people.